We are live here at the 2-minute warning. Welcome to the Damon Bruce Show. Little post-game and Damon for you. And we are in a football game right now. And what do you know? It's special teams. A sequence of things on special teams that have put the 49ers in a situation where they're trying to hang on for their lives right now. The biggest play of the game, a 4th and 5 with 2:49 left in the game. The biggest single play of the game, single play. No game comes down to one play, but on a 4th and 5 with good pressure on Murray, he is retreating. He throws one up to Marvin Harrison Jr., who comes down with it for a first down, and instead of the 49ers just being able to play some, kill some clock, this is not where the 49ers wanted to find themselves right now. They've been outscored 11-0 here in the second half. And their backup kicker, because the 49ers have lost their kicker, Jake Moody. This is more than interesting, certainly more interesting than any 49er fan wanted it to be, than Kyle Shanahan wanted it to be. Let's not start talking about a lost football game yet, but the 49ers are certainly on the edge of something really bad happening in Santa Clara today. First of all, we're powered by BetUS. Thank you so much for stopping on by. I'll tell you this right now, there's no doubt about it. We're going to get an Arizona cover here. They were getting 10 today, right? BetUS, by the way, you can see right there, is offering 150% deposit bonus. Use YouTube 150, that promo code right there, and you'll be happy that you did. Start playing today over on BetUS. They sponsored the live stream. Of course, my man Ike Sandwiches. Can't do it without you, brother. We're brought to you by Ike Sandwiches, who right now you sign up for that Ike's Love Rewards program. You get a free sandwich when you sign up and a chance to enter for a trip to see a big football game in New Orleans in February. We'll tell you more about that a little bit later on. But here we are. We got a timeout on the field right now. Arizona is driving against the 49ers, who have been shut out, held scoreless here in the second half. It's not exactly the situation anyone expected. Remember how Jake Moody was a guy you used to bully? Do you miss him right now? Because there was no Jake Moody to go to because of yet another special teams play where Jake Moody is making a tackle most kickers aren't asked to make because their special teams take care of tackling guys and don't leave it up to their kicker. Well, as you saw, Jake Moody had to make a tackle, and that is not a natural position for an ankle to actually bend. The good news is he walked off the field. The bad news is he didn't return to the game. And the worst news is because of that and a bad decision that Brock Purdy was making to buy too much time with his feet. Brock has been brilliant with his legs today. It's also gotten him in a little bit of trouble, and he needed to play the situation a little bit more than he actually has this afternoon. But this is not where you want to be against the Arizona Cardinals, who are right now running an 11-play, 67-yard drive. An 11-play, 67-yard drive. They are only down 2 points. A field goal by their backup kicker would give the Arizona Cardinals a huge upset if the 49ers can't then turn around quickly and score. The good news, I guess, on that front would be today's the day that Brandon Ayuk got his groove back. He has had a phenomenal game. As a matter of fact, really the only 49er who's had a phenomenal game today. Some moments from Mason, but Mason putting a ball on the floor late in this fourth quarter started the drive that the 49ers feel themselves in a little bit of peril in right now. The game is about to rejoin here. We are under the 2-minute warning. Like and subscribe if you would, please. It's awesome to have you here. We go live at the 2-minute warning each and every game, and we beat everybody to the punch. Thank you so much for being here. We break for super chats. We always appreciate you. That is for sure. Whenever you're on here, it means an awful lot. Thank you so much for coming on in, and hopefully you plan on staying for a little while. It's 2nd and 11, and a hand up the middle to James Conner. The 49ers were all over that, but they are just outside the red zone right now, just outside the 20-yard line. So we will see what exactly the situation is that they're going to have to consider here. Because they, with a backup kicker who's already had a field goal blocked and returned for a touchdown, and he's made a couple of field goals, they would like to six this. As much as the 49ers wanted to six their last drive, and on their way to doing that, Jordan Mason fumbled, which was just bad news all over. So here we go. I guess you can measure how far behind the YouTube stream is of your actual television. I'm looking at 1:46 on the clock right now here in my setup in my TV. So I don't know how mythically behind you I am. I'm sure it's several heartbeats of several seconds. But this is not where the 49ers want it to be. Again, up 23-21, 1:46 left. It is 3rd and 10. Kyler Murray is running with the football, and he's been running with the football effectively. The best chance the 49ers had against Kyler Murray was having Nick Bosa lay on top of him after he picked up about 6 or 7. Bosa, finally, somebody plays a Kyler Murray run the right way. For a big portion of this game, a Kyler Murray run was about the equivalent of Arizona's offense, but James Conner woke up here. And I'll tell you, I wrote down one thing before this show started today, before this game started today. I said the 49ers, without any special teams mistakes, and don't let James Conner go nuts, you win this game. Well, their best special teams play in many years happened in this game, but mistakes cost them their kicker. And we did see Robert Beal run into a punter. It was only a 5-yard penalty. But here comes 4th and 4. 4th and 4, and they are lining up the kicker for a 35-yard attempt. Remember, this is a backup kicker for the Arizona Cardinals, and he striped that thing. So 97 seconds. 97 seconds and no field goal kicker is what the 49ers will have to deal with here. That was a 14-play. Excuse me, let me refresh this real quick. I got a box score open here. I'm talking to you. We're trying to figure this all out. That was a 14-play, 74-yard drive. The 49ers had a chance to get off the field on a 4th and 5 all the way back at the 2-minute 49 mark and weren't able to do it. And so they're down 1. The 49ers are down 1 to a 1-3 Arizona Cardinal team. They are 97 seconds of good football away from winning this game, or they're 97 seconds away from being 0-2 in the NFC West, which when this schedule came out and you looked at it, you did not think the 49ers were going to be 0-2. 0-2. In the NFC West, if that is indeed their record at the end of the day here. So 97 seconds. Cardinals are going to be kicking off. I tell you, even the blocked kick by Arizona's kicker in this game, I don't even know if it was his fault as much as it was a protection issue that let the blocker through. Diamador Lenore, great scoop and score. It was something I really planned on celebrating. There was a 41-yard Mitch Wisnowski came in for a 26-yard field goal, but earlier in the fourth quarter, on a 4th and very long, they had to go for it because they just knew that they were out of Mitch Wisnowski's range. And unfortunately, even a play deep into the red zone didn't hit because Kittle dropped the ball. All right, 49ers are returning this out of the end zone. The kick is away, and Guerrero got the ball out to about the 28-yard line. So it'll be 1 minute and 32 seconds. 49ers, I don't want to say that they got pass happy today. I don't want to say that they've abandoned the run because they've run it 26 times. But Brock Purdy's 34 passes in this game, it feels like half of them were looking for targets more than 20 yards downfield. The 49ers hit a big early pass to Ayuk in this game, and I feel that they've been chasing that since that moment. I think Kyle got a little excited here. Purdy dart down the middle to Kittle, and Kittle is having a good day today. Kittle picks up a first down, and now it's tick, tick, tick. The 49ers are looking to run a play here to get over midfield. If Purdy can pick it up, he's got a little it looked like his arm is hit. Purdy's arm was hit. The ball came out, fluttered, and it is an interception. The Arizona Cardinals have just picked off Brock Purdy and without any timeouts have victory formation in Santa Clara. This is a disaster, and this all fell apart for the 49ers, who got outscored 14-0 in the fourth quarter with turnovers from Purdy in this game, 2 interceptions, 1 a tipped pass. This was, that was who just came totally clean free on Purdy. Purdy had his arm hit as it was coming forward. Ball went right up in the air, and it is an interception. Thompson just got to Purdy. I don't know if there was a missed block there, but Thompson came in pretty damn clean. I want to watch Fox's replay, see if they show it again. Oh, my goodness. 49er fans, this has not gone well. This has not gone well this afternoon. A case of the two cutes. You're going to see the 49ers accused of that, I think, today. This wasn't a real defensive failure of a game as much as it was a game where I think you can really sit around and say two things are equally true. Brock Purdy made some really big plays today, and I think he made some bonehead plays today, and he forgot a situation that at all times you need to be factoring in. We are without our kicker. I cannot be running backwards. I cannot be, hold on, was that McKivitz? I just took my eye off that for a second. I'd like to jog that back and take a look. Pardon me. Don't mind me at all right here. Did he come through McKivitz? He came right in between McKivitz and Pooney, and it looked like Mason. No, he came in between, Mason picked up the inside blitzer, and the curl blitzer that was in between Mason and McKivitz came in and got Brock Purdy there. That was a really nice blitz more than it was a bad tackle, or a bad block. Good defensive play call from the Arizona Cardinals right there. And the 49ers are going to find themselves at 2-3, and you're going to have an awful lot of people saying, uh-oh, because guess who's on a short week? The 49ers are going to be up in Seattle on Thursday next week. If you're just joining, like and subscribe. Really need you to hit that like button right now. That is going to help this show grow throughout YouTube's algorithm. It's not going to make me populate your phone every single time you pick it up. It will help this video grow. If you want me to populate your phone, you hit subscribe. You become a member. Thank you so much for being here. That was a bad day of football, certainly for Deebo Samuel, right? I mean, I didn't see Deebo do much of anything today. It was a hot one. It wasn't hot for Deebo Samuel. I'm going to start looking at some final box scores here. Brandon Ayuk had 147 receiving yards of the 244 passing yards that Brock Purdy let go of today. Man, that was that's not a game that is easily explained away. That is not a game that is easily explained away at all. I got to get into some bigger, deeper numbers here, and I got to set that up so you can enjoy it too. This the 2-minute warning today crept up on me just a little bit. I won't lie to you. It really did here. Hold on. We're going to add the screen. We're going to add this box score right here, and we're going to take a look at some of these final numbers together for the very first time. Let me go to team stats because that's what I'm interested in right now. We're looking at team stats today. 19 first downs for the Cardinals. It's a little bit more. Look, they were 3 of 10. 3 of 10 on third down. That is not a bad day, but 358 total yards, 6.3 yards per play. Devondre Adams was picked on, Devondre Campbell. I don't know why I put an Adams on him. Devondre Campbell is the worst 49er defender, I think, who was out there for a significant snap count. 169 rushing yards is what they ended up giving up to the Cardinals with 50 or more, certainly 50 or more, because his first rush of the day went for 50 yards to Kyler Murray. So James Conner ended up paying off in the second half for the Arizona Cardinals. There's no doubt. James Conner, he's a horse. 231 passing yards for the 49ers, 169 rushing yards for the Arizona Cardinals. And that's where this game really turned because Kyler didn't have much of a day throwing the ball around. 189 passing yards. Not a prolific day passing for Purdy by any stretch of the imagination. He was hunting so many big plays. I think he gave up an awful lot of efficiency to get there. And Brock Purdy, I think, is at his best when he is at his most efficient. And he was inefficient this afternoon. So that was not the day that anyone wanted. Now, I did see a super chat pop up in here. I've always told you that we break for super chats. I appreciate that. I can see, there's venom in the chat right now. Is Sorensen in trouble? Fuji Simeon, thank you very much. I don't know if Sorensen's in trouble, but, according to Mike here, the season is donezo. I wouldn't say the season is donezo either. The season is not donezo, but it's not sitting well. It's not even close to sitting well. This game looked like it was going to be a good and easy day of football for the 49ers. This game saw the 49ers going from up 23-10 at the half and then get right off the field with a 3-and-out from your defense to start the second half. And then Brock Purdy throws his first interception on that tip pass where the defense did a really nice job holding the Cardinals to a field goal, though, right? So it's a 10-point game, though, and your kicker's hurt. And that would haunt the 49ers after a very long possession. It was like 10, 11, 12 plays, and they end up turning the ball over on downs on 4th and 23 after Brock made a bad choice buying time. He got the 49ers out of that Wisnowski maybe range. You can't be looking at 4th and very, very long when you don't have your kicker in there. So the 49ers, after giving up a touchdown and then causing a penalty, now have the Arizona Cardinals considering, hey, you know what we're going to do? We're going to go for 2 here. We're going to go for 2, and that's why a field goal beats you by 1. 0-2 in the division. And this team is now 0-3 in the NFC conference, right? They lost to the Vikings as well. So it is not the mathematical start that the San Francisco 49ers were hoping for. No matter where you are, I hope you're staying cooler than we are here in San Francisco today. I am sitting in a room that's got to be about 90 degrees down in my basement. It's where the office is. There's no air conditioning in any house in San Francisco that was built as long ago as mine was. So we're all cooking today. It was over 100 degrees at Levi's Stadium, but Kyle Shanahan's going to get cooked, I think, a little today. And I think that Brock Purdy, as good as he looked at times, I mean, he's out there hitting dudes with hezzies. He ran at times so well today, but he also ran himself into trouble. And he ran himself into situational trouble. And for Brock Purdy to not be wired to meet the situation is a little odd. It's a little bit of what you don't expect out of Brock Purdy. Sometimes you just got to throw the ball away and you got to live to fight another day. And I thought that Brock Purdy got out of the what's the right thing to do to manage the game, not what's the best play I'm trying to cook up for myself in this moment. I think that that's where he hurt himself. AJ Sargent wants to know, are we still blaming Brandon Ayuk or nah? Look, it was nice to see Brandon get his groove back. It was good to see Brock Purdy and Brandon Ayuk finding something this week that they had not found in any week prior. We all thought it would take about 4 games, 4 weeks for Ayuk to really work himself into shape, and it paid dividends today. By the way, 12 tackle afternoon for Fred Warner. I know I crapped on Devondre Campbell. He is slow, but he had the second most tackles on today's tackle report there. He's got 9 tackles this afternoon. But still, he's slow. He really, really is. 14 carries, 89 yards for Jordan Mason. Isaac Guerrero came in for 5 carries and 22 yards. Brock Purdy carried for 33 yards on 4 attempts. Deebo Samuel, 3 carries, 9 yards. The Deebo carrying the ball thing just isn't working anymore. which is too bad because Debo receiving the ball thing didn't work very well today either. He was 1 for 11. This was a bad Debo day. A normal Debo day probably gets you into the win column. Not putting the loss on him, but he feels like he is subscribing to the didn't produce the most classification right now. Anyways, whew. Larry Wong dropping an any given Sunday. Yeah, this was this Sunday, and it was not good. This was not good. Vinnie Mac saying, get your shit together. Bosa has a pick. Lenore has a scoop and score on special teams, and we still lose to the Cardinals. Cardinals got a little something for you every single time the 49ers play them. I'm getting a little glisteny down here. Whew, let's take a breath. We got over 600 people watching this live stream right now. Thank you very much. If you all lean in and hit that like button, there will be about 600 more here in the next, 10, 15 minutes or so. So thank you for supporting what we're doing. Really appreciate that. And this was a bad game for the 49ers. They had a chance to win it defensively. 4th and 5, 2:49 left in the game. They were up 1. They couldn't get off the field. Murray retreated, backpedaling. It looked like the pressure was good on him, and it really was. He sort of launched up a wing and a prayer, and Marvin Harrison Jr. came down with it for a first down, which led to the winning Cardinal drive this afternoon. A lot of big plays in this game. But the 49ers failed to make the biggest ones when they needed to. And when it looked like they had really put the drive together that was going to put the period on the end of this win, Jordan Mason fumbled. And, there's going to be an awful lot of motherfucking Brock Purdy and Kyle Shanahan. That Jordan Mason fumble was devastating. That Jordan Mason fumble is a big reason why, our friend Joji is right here saying Kyle can't finish games. I thought that they were putting together the kind of drive that was going to finish this game in the win column. I think you did too. That Jordan Mason fumble was terrible. And it was caused by a guy who hadn't even played this year. I made the note on the Jordan Mason fumble. It was bad, obviously. It was caused by Jesse Luketa. He hadn't played a snap from scrimmage all year before today. He was a special teamer before today. So excuse me if I didn't pronounce his name very right or correctly, because we haven't really used it until right now. That's where the game was lost. Not getting off the field on 4th down when you needed to, and Jordan Mason's fumble. Brandon Ayuk, unfortunately, not Brandon Ayuk, but Brock Purdy, he was his own worst enemy as often as he was the 49ers' best quarterback in years. He really was today. He bought enough time for himself where he just thought he had like an infinity clock going. And he was running around and doing all sorts of happy feet, not nervous happy feet, but buying good time happy feet. But look, 49ers wide receivers, if you want to accuse them of getting lost in man-to-man coverage, I think they're guilty of that. I absolutely think that they're guilty of that. CT Niner. Oh, I'm about to say something to you, CT Niner, you're not going to like. I don't even want to hear any optimism. This team is trash. It ain't even week 6, man. There's an awful lot of football. Ricky Pearsall hasn't played. Christian McCaffrey hasn't played. But when you talk about a fork in the road of making your season more or less difficult, the 49ers just made their season more difficult right here and right now today than it needed to be. And that they are guilty of. There is no doubt about that. The 49ers are guilty of making whatever path they think they need to take now to the Super Bowl or just to the playoffs very difficult. They're 0-3 in the conference, 0-2 in the division. These are not the types of starts you expect real playoff contenders to have. Again, anger. Cut the shit, fire Shan. Anyone in there says that replacing him with a name, we would have one if we had a kicker. Defense deflated some, but I would like to see that fourth and go for it. I thought, so you want to have the what did you like the least from Kyle Shanahan today? I'll agree with you. What I liked the least today from Kyle Shanahan is when he settled for a field goal when Jake Moody was, still there in the game, but Shanahan settled for a field goal after a 10-play drive in the second quarter. And it didn't feel like, the Cardinals were going to do a lot offensively, so take the points, be smart about it. Like Tom Brady actually said, yeah, taking the points here, not a bad idea. And it was a bad idea. Comes back to haunt you. Purdy on 2nd and goal threw a little bit too high to Kittle. So on 3rd and 2, Purdy then scrambled back to the 23-yard line before he threw it away. I mean, they were 2nd and goal, and he throws it away at about the 23-yard line, which means he is just looking to do way too much, I think. And it was kind of interesting listening to Tom Brady evaluate Brock Purdy today. He was impressed by an awful lot, but said, he is holding on to the ball a little bit too long. And he was right about that. Well, the 49ers on 3rd and 2 look for Purdy to do something with it. He ends up running, almost out of the red zone before he throws it away. They don't run the ball there, and they take the points. Instead of running the ball on 4th and 2 or running a play on 4th and 2, they took the points there, and that would come back to haunt them. And I did not like that at all from Kyle Shanahan today. But there was a lot of football game left after that. Unfortunately, though, after that, the 49ers wouldn't score a point after halftime. Not a point after halftime. It's not often you see a Kyle Shanahan offense get shut out in a half. This was not a good day. Again, the knives are out for Shanahan. I hear you. That fumble by Jordan Mason was awful. Absolutely awful. Joe, I'm in a bad moody. Jose Fonseca Jr. Thank you. I hope I didn't butcher your name too much there. Wow. The Arizona Cardinals just came in and absolutely stole one. And again, let's talk special teams. Let's talk special teams because there's a 5-yard penalty on a punt that didn't give up a first down by Beal Jr. And I thought, all right, well, he didn't give up the first down. So can we really score that one against them? Yeah, it's another special teams mistake. Let's score that. And right as we're scoring that, what happens? A blocked field goal, a 61-yard blocked field goal returned by Lenore for the first time in 244 games for the San Francisco 49ers. They block a field goal and return it for a touchdown. They hadn't done that since 2009. And then on the ensuing kickoff, Jake Moody has his ankle bent in an unnatural fashion because he's the one making a tackle because nobody on special teams in front of him did his job. Special teams did score a touchdown today, but their poor tackling nearly took out their own. We'll see what Moody's injury really is. By the way, Fuji Simeon coming in again today. Hufanga might be out for a while. I don't know. He left this game with a wrist. That was not good. He's got, I'm battling back from an injury, right? I'm battling back from an injury and other things are getting hurt about me. He hurt his ankle. Now he hurt his wrist today. And that's not good. Rick Thomas was saying, hey, man, 49er cheerleader spotted on the sideline, kicking the ball off the tee. Maybe they could have got the kid who hit the $100,000 field goal in Berkeley on game day. By the way, if you are a Cal fan and a 49er fan, you're having a rough weekend, okay? You are having a really rough weekend if you're a 49er fan that went to Cal. And oh, by the way, that's my wife. Ouch. Yeah, sorry, honey. She just walked past while I was saying that. Yeah, that's not good. That's not good. Why do we take the foot off the gas pedal? Herc, it's funny that you asked that question. I didn't think they took their foot off the gas pedal as much as they left it on too long. Run the ball. Kill some clock. You're turning the ball over. You don't have a field goal kicker. You're not staying aggressive on you're looking to buy too much on second down, and you're not hitting that play, and you're setting yourself up for a rough third down. What were the Niners again today on third down? Let me just look here. Niners today on third down, 6 of 11. It's not the worst you've ever heard of, but it was an inefficient day for Brock Purdy. It was an inefficient day for Brock Purdy. And that, to me, is just as important as a gas pedal. Purdy's efficiency was, I think, underdone by some coaching choices to get extra aggressive, maybe because they hit that very first big play on the second drive to Brandon Ayuk, and they were looking to hunt that again. And Ayuk had a really good day, and George Kittle had a good day. Beyond that, I don't know how many other Fred Warner, we always see you good days. We're seeing how much McCaffrey is being missed and hurting. How many teams do you think could use last year's reigning offensive, player of the year? They're really hurting. They're really missing Christian McCaffrey. But Jordan Mason is a fantastic understudy, and I thought there should have been more Jordan Mason running the ball in this game plan. I really did. More Jordan Mason is what I was expecting to see. The 49ers defense, it's no longer one of the best in football. I mean, I just think we have to accept that. This is no longer one of the best defenses in football that packs his bag and takes its luggage with it wherever it goes. It's a defense that is absolutely capable of giving you a good game, but it's a defense that is capable of giving up the gash play, the big shot play downfield, or, James Conner had some big runs, and they felt like they came up the middle. Maybe we get a discount on Purdy after today. Heck, Dell. No, look, Purdy's a really good quarterback. But today was not one of his best days. And unfortunately, Purdy not having his best day with the unfortunate situation of special teams causing your own kicker necessity. Your kicker's got to make the tackle. It means your special teams are poorly coached over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. I don't know why the 49ers never, ever decide we're going to correct this special teams. It's a problem every week. It's a problem again this week. If special teams scored one of the 49ers touchdowns today, and that's good. But at the same time, everything else that special teams usually does on this team is bad. Wishnowsky as a punter doesn't feel as sound as he used to be. I'm telling you, I haven't seen the chat move this fast in a long time. I don't think since a certain loss to the Kansas City Chiefs have I seen the chat this angry. Jay Odyssey, the fact that we didn't score in the second half means we have a problem. Turned it over 3 times in the second half. The 49ers were their own worst friends today. And it's easy to say that when you're your own worst friend, that must be a coaching problem. These are tipped balls at the line of scrimmage. Is that on Kyle Shanahan? Is it really on the head coach that it's a tip ball at the line of scrimmage? Now, if you're just saying to yourself, like, hey, man, you got to run the ball more. I agree with you. I agree. Run the ball more. Did Kyle Shanahan fumble late in the game like Jordan Mason did? I'm not capping for Kyle Shanahan. I'm not. I don't owe Kyle Shanahan anything, and he doesn't pay me to say nothing nice about him. But I think he's a really good coach who sometimes is undone by the way he tries to interpret a game. And today was one of those days. By the way, they keep on showing that moody twisted ankle play here on the local postgame show. And Ed, that hurts. the degree of how much he's hurt is going to be a very interesting thing to monitor. He did walk off the field. That is the only good news I got there. But yeah, they're going to be looking for a kicker. They're going to be absolutely on the market for a kicker this week, no doubt about it. I doubt Moody will be ready to go on Thursday night for Seattle. Like, that's how much that ankle looked like it went wonky. So, you cannot go up there with Mish Wisnowski and Kyle Juszczyk is your emergency kicker, I guess. Kyle Juszczyk has other problems. He's trying to keep a towel on around Grant Cohn. So he has, he's already protecting something else. But this is just not the day anyone wanted. Michelle Haberman, rattled. I've officially pulled the panic button out of the bottom drawer. She hasn't pushed it yet, but the panic button's in the room. I'll tell you what, you can really start thinking of pushing that, but you can push the button if they go and lose up in Seattle. This Seattle game now turns into a huge game. Thank you, Thomas. Thomas Messina, Robbie Gold getting a call. I don't think Robbie Gold's answering the phone. I don't think Robbie Gold's playing football ever again. I don't think he's kicking for the 49ers. I don't think he's kicking for anybody. I think he's done. Mike Baker, thank you very much, Mike. Here's just something for the jar because we need it today. That'll go right in the ganja jar. Oopsie, I'm a bad pointer. Right there in the ganja jar. It'll go there, Mike. Thank you. I tell you, it's been a while since I've considered El Ganja because the cold, I think you can still hear it. I can definitely still feel it in the back of my throat. This has been a week of heat waves and waves of head colds here in the Bruce household. So it's not been the best of weeks. Damien wants to know, can we still make the playoffs? Yeah. Absolutely. Yes, the 49ers can still be a playoff team. Are the 49ers still a dominant team that all teams fear? I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what happens with their Vegas odds because even at 1-2 and 2-2, they're still right there in every conversation. But being now, being 0-2 in the NFC West means they got a lot of catch up to do there, and they're 0-3 in the division. Hey, didn't the commentator say that the 49ers were trying deep many times? It was as an aggressive downfield passing attack as I've seen the 49ers ever have under Kyle Shanahan. I think Kyle got caught up in trying to make big plays and it bit him today. It bit him today. Greg Johnson, something is wrong here, Damon. Not sure what it is. All I can say is I'm glad I don't have a PSL. Dude, if you had a PSL and you went down there today, you needed some, what is it? What was the sunblock? You got to have the SPV level, SPV. What are you, a 50, 20? You needed some suntan lotion today down there. Hand banana, Kyle is not a good red zone play caller. He either gets too cute or he puckers up. Is as legitimate a criticism as I think we've seen here in the chat so far. And that's a good way to describe it. In the red zone, he either puckers up or he gets too cute. I think I am going to steal that from you, Hand Banana, and be using it on the Wake Up show that I'll be doing with Larry Krueger a little bit later on Monday or very early Monday morning. We'll hopefully see you on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays on Wake Up, streaming on both our channels. But yeah, pucker up or get too cute in the red zone. That is a real good way to describe Kyle this year. It was not a good day for Deebo Samuel at all. At all. He sucked today. Haters everywhere. So lame. Look, if you want to be a little angry today, I'm going to let you be angry. I'm not going to tell you that you're just unfounded. Your anger's unfounded. This was a bad loss. That loss to the Rams was bad. This was probably even worse. Time to rebuild. Those gadget weapons can't separate to get open and win games. Brock needs route running weapons, and these gadget guys were built for Jimmy G. Maybe you're talking about Debo there. But today, Brandon Ayuk was good. Today, Brandon Ayuk was really good. I didn't think we got enough Jordan Mason, and Debo had a bad day. The Space Cowboy coming on in with the super chat, $5. Thank you, Cowboy. Defense hasn't been the same since D'Amico left. Less talent on defense, too. More special teams problems with Moody injured. Yes, yes, and yes. Yeah, all the way around. Special teams problems. Nick Sorensen, gotta go. Brandon Staley needs to take the DC position. I mean, if his advice were so good, why isn't Sorensen better? Does trading one guy for the other right now change that much? I think Devondre Campbell is easy to pick on, and he's out there way too much. Who's insisting Devondre Campbell be in this game all the time? Because that guy, I'm pretty sure right now, is not helping. Fuji Simeon coming in again. Our personnel changes coming. A bench, a trade. I would look for still more defensive line help. This defensive line is not getting the job done. More defensive line help and maybe somebody to help you until Hufanga's really back and ready, because it feels like there are times when Jair Brown and Malik Mustafa are playing in position. There are other times when it feels like they're playing out of position. Rock Eastwood saying Damon's salty. How could you not be salty watching this one? Again, I got a really angry wife. She's a Niner fan and a Cal fan. If you were a Niner fan and a Cal fan, you had a rough weekend. Romeo, stop breaking people's dreams. If they want to moderate, let them moderate. Someone wants to be a moderator in here? I don't think we're taking any volunteers there. Let's just let it fly. And remember, I think one of the things that is nice about this channel, one of the reasons why I hope you plan on subscribing to this channel, one of the reasons why this channel is growing is because in a world of unreasonable, we can get angry and still remain reasonable and hopefully semi-respectful when it comes to trading barbs at each other's and you know, talking to each other and not insulting each other. I mean, there's a way to all rib each other. I'm all for a good-natured ribbing, but I don't like the toxic, awful keyboard warrior stuff you see on so many tough guy, I think I know everything about football chat rooms. So that's what I offer you. My experience as a broadcaster in an audience that I think is a pretty damn good audience. That's what we have for you here on Damon Bruce Plus. Antonio has nothing to say, just wants to put $2 in the ganja jar. Antonio, thank you very much. That is always deeply appreciated. Thank you, thank you. You know, enough of that happens. I can go get some tacos. Heckdell comes in again saying 23-10 at the half, and I wasn't confident. The team is dog water. They can prove me wrong on Thursday. At 23-10 at the half, them getting off the field, I was pretty confident. But then when it was, again, to me, the ultimate like sequence of events that really went into the crock pot of why the 49ers lost today, Herc, more than anything else, is that the 49ers were up 23-10 at the half, and they got off the field with a 3-and-out to open the second half. Purdy had the tipped interception, but then they held the Cardinals to 3 points. So now it's a 10-point game. You got a kicker hurt, though. And then when you turn the ball over on downs on 4th and 23 because he couldn't kick from that range and Kittle dropped it, so it wasn't even like, oh, well, you really flipped the field and they're inside their own 10-yard line. That's when I got nervous. Then the next thing you knew, the 49ers were up 2 points after a touchdown and a penalty, which made the Cardinals choose going for it on going for 2 instead of going for the point after touchdown. And that's when I started saying, oh, this is not good. And then they go on this long drive. The 49ers offense goes on a long drive that looks like it's got game-winning touchdown written all over it. And the question was, are you going to go for 2 or are you going to play around then? What are you going to do then, Kyle? Because you got a weird scoreboard right now. And that's when Jordan Mason fumbled. Jordan Mason fumbling, the biggest play of the day, and then not getting off the field on 4th and 5 with 2:49 left in the game. Couldn't get off the field. Murray just throws up a Hail Mary to Harrison. And I don't mean like Hail Mary as he's executing a deep pass downfield. I mean, that thing went like, whoa, he was being pressured. He just straight up YOLO'd one. It was a Garoppolo ball. And it wasn't good. It wasn't good from then on. Whew, I'm a little shiny. It's a little hot down here. Think of how hot everybody is in that parking lot right now. You got to be pissed if you spent the entire afternoon sitting in that at Levi Stadium. Walk away with a loss like that and a sunburn to boot. Probably dehydrated. Antonio, coming in. I'm mad as hell. You should be. 20 missed tackles today. Douglas, I don't know if I heard that or saw that. We got a missed tackle here in my box score. I don't think I got a missed tackle element here on the ESPN box. Hold on. Pardon me. Let me do the expanded. Yeah, I don't have that there, but believe me, all this will come out in Pro Football Focus grades. It did feel like missed tackles. It did feel like, James Conner, who was one guy you couldn't let go off in this game, went off in this game in the second half, 19 carries, 86 yards. And it felt like of his 86 yards, about 70 of them came in the second half. Man. My throat's closing up a little bit. Terribly sorry. Terribly sorry if I don't sound very good. Douglas wants everyone to know, hey, Robert Saleh might be available soon. Again, Robert Saleh, he's under a lot of pressure. It's New York. Everybody's just crushing him today. Aaron Rodgers threw 3 interceptions in London. 3 Aaron Rodgers interceptions. Is that on Robert Saleh? Like, isn't Aaron Rodgers specifically in here to not do that? We're not doing any Jets postgame, but Robert Saleh is a fine defensive coordinator. He's probably a pretty good head coach. No one can overcome the Jets. Who's the successful Jets head coach? I'll wait. Got a MacBook giant right here. I got to close that. Oh, my goodness. Cardinals spent a little bit too much time with the ball, controlling some tempo of the game today. They did. 49ers had so many opportunities. And then when you think about it, okay, your kicker's not out there, so that's got to change the way you're playing a little bit. And this is my ultimate criticism of Brock Purdy this afternoon. He didn't change the way he played. He kept on, I thought, running around a little bit too much of a scramble drill. He had some great runs early on. I think I finally found the best way to say it. Kyle hit a big early pass with Brock to Brandon Ayuk, and I think he spent the rest of the day hunting that. I think that Brock Purdy had some beautiful escapes and rushes early on, and he spent too long of the rest of this game hunting that. And while they were hunting, hey, everybody, watch what I can do with my legs, And hey, everybody, watch what I can do when I get really aggressive going downfield. What they forgot to do is turn around and hand the ball off to a guy like Jordan Mason, who coming into this game was leading the NFL in carries. You don't want to overuse. Overusing Jordan Mason is something that we've been talking about, a warning, but you don't want to underuse him either. And look right there, Jordan Mason, 14 carries, 89 yards. 14 carries is not enough carries. 34 carries would have been too many. 24 carries would have been entering the realm of too many. 18, 20 would have been just right. And what do you know? He's averaging 6.4 yards per carry. He had some explosive plays. Baby Radiance coming in. Good thing I didn't go to the game. Bad loss. Hot outside. No thank you. Got another super chat here from Dale. D sucks. Special teams suck. Red zone O sucks. Bring back Wilkes. Oh, I'm not going to argue with any of that today. I really think the 49ers are still going to find a way to 9 or 10 wins this year. 11, 12 wins. Maybe that ship has sailed now. You know, a beatable Rams team plus a beatable Arizona team were two W's that I was expecting to be there that weren't. Your next three opponents are the Seahawks, the Chiefs, and the Cowboys. So price of poker and the official beginning of this year's regular season gauntlet is here. It is here. Tell me what Staley's doing. Enlighten me. I don't know. I'm so sorry. I cannot tell you exactly what he's doing. Why is Isaac Yiadom still starting? That guy keeps getting burned. You're right, Hicks. He does. Words of wisdom coming in. These are about to go past me, and I'm not going to be able to call them up again. Sorry, I can't spend longer on them. I don't want to hear people defending Kyle. He's peaked. Sorensen, Staley, special teams coach. He was a good OC, nothing more. Gold is now head coach at Jimmy G's high school. Oh, so Robbie Gold ain't coming back. No way Robbie's walking away from a team in Illinois. Diego Sanchez, our defense, toothless. We have to officially hit the panic button if we have to hold our breath to remain 500. 3-10 and hope Moody is okay. Yeah, you better hope Moody's okay. Again, special teams. You know what you're not going to do? You're probably not going to fire your special teams coordinator that should have been fired a long time ago because now you got to bring in a kicker. And it's hard to bring in a kicker and fire your special teams coordinator in the same week. And that's this week, which is a short week going up to Seattle. So I'm promising you it ain't going to happen this week. But maybe after the Seattle game, you're sitting at 2-4 because you lost that one and special teams goes into that one again. Man. That's going to have to go. Steven Brooks coming in with $20. Steven, thank you very much. When did our defense turn into a Pop Warner arm tackling team? You know, I think it was when Dre Greenlaw tore his Achilles. Has the defense been truly impressive? Has the defense been truly impressive since that moment? I think the answer is no. Dre Greenlaw goes out of the Super Bowl. You all know how that ended, and you all know how this year has begun. Thank you, Steven, for coming in with the 20 spot. The fumble at the goal line hurt. Dragon Go D Bahmut. Yeah, that hurt. That hurt. Jorge Luis Jorge. We'll just go with Jorge. Thank you very much. Greetings from the 305. I'm a Miami Hurricane and a 49er fan. Actually attended the U when they were winning championships. Terrible 49er loss. You got to feel good about that U, though, boy, even though that was targeting at the end of the game. What was up with the 49ers run D? I don't know. Kyler Murray's tough. This defense is not dominant. It's not dominating. The defense is good enough to clean things up, but it's not good enough to dictate the game. There's no doubt about that. When was the last time we won on Alumni Day? Oh, was it Alumni Day? Don't you dare lose on an Alumni Day. John, he's throwing his Hail Mary saying, sign Belichick as a head coach. I tell you, you listen to Bill Belichick talk about football, and you do say to yourself, like, that's the smartest son of a bitch ever. I don't think they're trading someone as young as Kyle for as old as Bill. Kyle said the team had a light practice because of heat. I'm cool with that. There's not a lot of NFL teams out there really smacking each other in practice anymore. You want to criticize practice being the reason so many tackles are being missed? Sure, I can correlate that. But again, I don't think this was a practice issue. This is an execution in a game issue, and these guys are all pros. Jordan Mason doesn't fumble the ball. The team scores the go-ahead touchdown. People might be tisking the quality of the win, but nobody's talking about Kyle getting fired. I mean, I don't think this was a game where you say to yourself, oh, yeah, the head coach, you've absolutely got to fire that guy. But I do think, because we know him so well, that Kyle played a little from his left hand today by asking Brock Purdy to throw the ball downfield a little too early, little too often, not using play action after a run is getting established, too many dropbacks on probably first or second. When you do have Jordan Mason getting you 6 a carry, you want to run him more. You want to stop handing the ball to Debo. I'm pretty convinced of that. That doesn't look like it's working or fooling anyone at all anymore. Debo had a bad day. Damon, Mason lost the game, coming from Craig's Kitchen. We got Lucas Shea Houston Jr. Just like the Rams game, the kickoff team in the secondary cost him the game. Too many missed tackles. Letting Jimmy Ward walk was a mistake. I'll agree with you on the Ward part. The secondary absolutely got cooked at the wrong times today. That is for sure. That kickoff team got the kicker hurt. Pardon me. Because nobody knows how to make a tackle on kick return or punt return, basically. Jake Moody had to do that today, too. And his ankle bent in an unnatural way. Let's see what the diagnosis is on him. Damon, we abandoned the run. Yeah. I think that you dropped it at the wrong times today. It wasn't a full abandonment, but it wasn't leaned on enough. Is it Brock's arm or Shanny's play calling in the red zone? I would say it's the play calling. I would say it is the play calling. Why do you doubt Brock Purdy's arm? He's got a really good arm. The only time that guy's balls are being intercepted is when somebody's running into the side of his body, or he is it's getting tipped at the line of scrimmage, which happened twice today. One of them was a tipped INT. Look, Brock is not the problem. I mean, I know a lot of people got conditioned to think that Brock is the problem. Brock is not the problem. Brock is the recipient, I think, of some bad calls today for Kyle Shanahan, but for the most part, any one afternoon should never be the referendum. When I look at the entire picture of Shanahan's coaching tenure, I'm still impressed. He wins games. But I also think he gets a little arrogant at times, and he gets stubborn at times. And those are the games where it comes back to bite him, and maybe those qualities got him bitten today. And for a guy that is, a card-carrying offensive genius, his red zone plays really aren't fooling anybody, and they're not scoring the touchdowns that you need. There's an awful lot of settling for field goals. I thought settling for field goal on 4th and 2 in the second quarter was kind of a chicken shit thing to do from Kyle. I mean, if anything, what's going to be better for you? The 3 points you get right here, or giving Kyler Murray 98 yards to play with? Purdy needs to get rid of it faster. Listening to Tom Brady talk about that, I thought today was pretty damn interesting. Space Cowboy comes in again.
Another 10 here, Space Cowboy. Thank you very much. Can't defend the run, can't cover the pass. We're trying to revamp the defensive scheme with less cover 3 and blitzing. We're still playing preseason football. Why are the coaching staff not prepared? It does feel, well, here's the thing. They don't dictate games like they used to. It feels like they're just trying to control what is in front of them and how bad things can get. I don't think this is a defense that is attacking and devastating anymore. It's just there. Sometimes it does the job. Most of the time, it doesn't. Like in the first half, it did the job. In the second half, it didn't. Tank for Shador. Tank for Dion's kid. No, again, the quarterback is not the problem. This defense and every single week, special teams, that is a problem. Every week. Every week. By the way, hit that like button if you would, please. We have over 300 likes. I appreciate that. There's over 600 people in the room right now. I mean, that means we're about 300 likes short. Does it not? So hopefully you can go ahead. Just, look at all the hard work you got to do to hit that like button. To go down the corner and hit that button. In the corner over here. It's so hard. If you could hit the like button, I'd really appreciate that. Subscribe if you would, please. We are live at the 2-minute warning each and every week. You can see that we are powered by our friends here at BetUS. And I want to let you know that right now at BetUS, you can get a 150% deposit match by using promo code YouTube150 on your first deposit up to $2,000. Your second 2 deposits, you get 125% bonus match, a deposit match, I should say, over by starting with the promo code YouTube150 on BetUS. Start playing today. If you bet on the 49ers if you bet on the 49ers today, you got a little chasing the dragon to do. We all know that. I always want to thank my man Ike of Ike's Love and Sandwiches, and I'm going to tell you right now, join the Ike's Love Rewards program for the Ike sandwich. You get a free sando when you sign up for the rewards program, and you get registered to win a trip to a very big football game in the city of New Orleans in February. I don't know if the 49ers are going to be there, but if you win that contest that Ike is going to have, you will be. That's not exactly the promo I wanted to do at the end of this game, but that's where they are, as the 49ers now sit 2-3 on the season, 0-2 in the division, and 0-3 in their conference, and that ain't good. You're going to need a sandwich from Ike's to feel better about that. You're going to need a Guinness from the Dubliner in West Portal to feel better than about that. You go into the Dubliner in West Portal, incredible neighborhood bar. You tell them Damon sent you. You're going to get treated like a king. I promise you that. Dubliner, West Portal. Say hello to Kenny and John for me. My man Ike's got the best sandwich in the world just waiting for you. You got the best betting portal you're going to find anywhere going on right now at BetUS. So you hammer that. You hammer the like button. Thank you for leaving a comment. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for maybe becoming a member today. I see we got a new member. We'll get to you hopefully here in just a second. $5 to show support, Damon. 49ers have left me numb. John, thank you very much. Appreciate that. They left a lot of people numb today. Again, I told you, we had a new member. Rita Thomas has become a member of the initiated. Rita, thank you so very much. For the cost of a cup of coffee, you can become a member, and you will be hearing from Sports Bane soon. I know I keep promising that. I'm going to have to make good on that promise, but there's some anger brewing, and when you got anger, you need Sports Bane. I'll tell you right now, The Penguin on HBO, fantastic show. Really good show. It's like somebody married a comic book movie and a mob movie. That's a really good show. Speaking of villains and Batmaning and all that stuff. So thank you for becoming a member. Thank you for becoming a subscriber. Thank you for the super chat to Jorge again. Damon, love the channel and your videos. Keep up the strong work. Considering a move from Miami to Chicago. You're going to need a jacket. You're going to need a jacket. But if you're talking about great American cities, Miami's a great city. Chicago is one of the greatest cities in the world, in America. It really is. Chicago's a monster. Chicago's fantastic. A warm summer night in Chicago is better than like 4 months of nice weather in Miami because it's so appreciated. It's better. I mean, I like Miami, but Miami is also obnoxious as fuck. If you're going to move to Chicago, get a good jacket and don't be a pussy. You'll do well if you follow those 2 rules. Dan is in here saying, don't hit the panic button, hit that like button. Dan, cheers. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate that. Hicks coming in again. Have defensive coordinators finally figured out how to defend Kyle Shanahan's offense? I think they're taking the middle of the field away from him more than ever before, and the 49ers haven't figured that out yet. I think they're taking away the middle of the field, and we know that that's where Kyle likes to operate. So now he's being asked to push more outside the numbers and more downfield. And even in that, I think they're pushing a little bit too much. Where's their great screen game? You know, Jordan Mason working with a jugs machine. Kyle Shanahan set up a tight end screen to George Kittle. More screens to Debo and Ayuk. I think that would help. I think that could maybe loosen some things up a little bit. The play action doesn't feel like it's being set up enough. I think they should have ran Mason more today. And having said all that, the most devastating play of this game was the Jordan Mason fumble and then not getting off the field on 4th down as the Cardinals were going to drive for the game-winning score. A modern elder. Thanks, DB, for speaking the truth. That's what we're trying to do over here, right? That's what we're trying to do. We're just trying to be right. We're just trying to actually talk about what did happen. Not what we wish were happening. We're not trying to get everybody fired. I mean, if your favorite content creator is screaming, fire the coach after 12 of the 17 games in every year, you're watching a total douchebag who doesn't understand how, like, professional sports, certainly the NFL work. How certainly the 49ers work. 49ers are not a clutching their pearl, immediately start panicking when something goes wrong type of franchise. But there are certainly an awful lot of fans in this fan base rooting for this franchise who are constantly trying to fire everyone. And again, today, with the day that was not great, right? Not great. And Enrique says, Damon, Kyle gets cute and it backfires. You're right. It gets cute and it backfires. Today was the 26th regular season start for Brock Purdy. The 26th regular season start for Brock Purdy. He's got the highest passer rating in the first 25 games since the merger. But because game number 26 doesn't do well, you want to tank for Shedeur Sanders? I mean, some of you are unbelievable. Guy's off to one of the greatest starts the sport has ever seen. When something goes wrong, ultimately in the game, if you want to get to the how do you perfectly thread the needle to define how the 49ers lost today, Brock's usually not there right in the middle of it. Sometimes it's Kyle's choices, but most of the time it's a limp defense that doesn't play stiff football at the line of scrimmage anymore. A secondary that can get picked apart, and a special teams that even including the first field goal blocked and returned for a touchdown since 2009, over 200, nearly 250 games. This special teams sucks week in, week out. Now, if you want to put that on the head coach and say he's bad at firing his bad special teams coordinator, you're right about that. You're right about that. You hate Kyle Shanahan for not firing his special teams coordinator. I'll give you a high five on that one because I don't understand why Brian Schneider's here anymore either. I don't get it. Every single week, multiple times on special teams, every single week on special teams, there's a problem. Not some of the time, all of the time. And it's all over. It's kick return. It's punt return. It's punt execution.
it really wasn't kicking a field goal until today. And remember, all you wanted to do, not all of you, so many of you, the only thing you want to do is motherfuck Jake Moody at all times. Did you do that today, or did you miss him a little bit? You know, you don't love it until it's gone. And Jake Moody's injury, because he had to make a tackle on special teams today, affected this game, and it played into Kyle getting too cute, and at moments Brock Purdy getting too cute. Brock Purdy sabotaged himself today by just not throwing away the ball. Like, live to fight another down, man. You do not need to be retreating 18 yards. Anytime you see Brock Purdy drop back 18 yards, something bad is probably going to happen. Something bad is going to happen. This is property manager of Capitola. Property manager. We get the postman at Capitola, and now we get the property manager at Capitola here. Fantastic. Oy, oy, oy! Just got back from the game. Unbelievable or trending believable? Ooh, good question. No, this was unbelievable. This was unbelievable. This was a bad loss, man. I don't think that the 49ers will now be defined by incompetence. Today, there was some second half incompetence. Hold on. Let me just go ahead and just for a moment, if you don't mind, I need to tell my beautiful family, which is just right outside earshot, to be a little quiet. So let me use this BetUS promo for a second to cover up for the fact that I'm going to go outside real quick. I'll be back in 5 seconds. I promise. Okay. Every single person go in that corner of the yard. Get away from this window right now. Thank you very much. Get them. Jillian, pull them out by their ears. Upstairs now. All of them. Okay. Here I am. I'm back. I got two kids fighting over a water gun in the backyard. So, you know, everyone's trying to stay cool today, including a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old. And there's a water balloon and water gun fight. And now, you know, no one wants to go undermanned into a water balloon, water gun fight. So they're arguing over a water gun. And this is where we are in my household. I love being a dad most of the time. So look, this was a day where the 49ers do not cloak themselves in glory. Not even close. This is a day where you can look at a lot of things and go, that's not up to par. That's not up to snuff. The 49ers getting shut out in the second half. The 49ers getting shut out in the second half is not up to par. That's not even close. That is unacceptable. 49ers don't get shut out in halves. Today they did by a team that does not come in here with a defense that makes men quake in their cleats. The Arizona Cardinals defense looked way too good today at times. And I think the 49ers played into making them look good when if they just did some simpler things like run the ball and lean into play action a little bit more. That doesn't happen. Food for thought. Kyle's blown a 10-point lead in 3 of his last 6 games, including the Super Bowl. Sorensen still couldn't stop a car in peak LA traffic. Valen. What do we want to do? What do you do? Are you going to hire or just fire Nick Sorensen straight up and say, Brandon Staley, it's your job now? I don't think I'd be that comfortable with that. I really don't. Unless you're telling me that there's a communication problem between those two, or there is a tug of war over what the goals or the game plan is, and those two guys are, neither installs what they think is the right thing to do because they're both trying to install what they think is the right thing to do and they're disagreeing about it, then yeah, choose one or the other. But Kyler Murray's a pain in the ass, and today, he ran, I think, one of the fastest a quarterback has been measured running in the last 8 years, I thought I heard Tom Brady say. He ran like 22 miles an hour, and Kyler Murray took off, and Devondre Campbell looked like an old man who couldn't even come close to him. Devondre Campbell is the weakest link on a defense that is unimpressive. And so how do you replace Devondre Campbell? I think you can get him off the field and play more D. Winters. Do that now. D. Winters, by the way, had a woo hit today. He really did. I want to see more of him. But thank you for the super chat. And thanks to all of you for staying through the water gun incident of just a few minutes ago. And thanks to all of you who have hit like and subscribed. And thanks to all of you who are going to go get a sandwich at Ike's. And thanks to all of you who are going to the Dubliner in West Portal. Means an awful lot. You could be a whole bunch of places on a very hot day here in the Bay Area. You could be a whole bunch of places, and I don't know where you're watching from. Tell me where you're watching from. I'd love to see it. Where are you watching from? Unless it's the Bay Area, in which case I don't give a shit. But where are you watching from? We got Joe G from Japan in here. Do we have Padraig from Ireland in here? Appreciate it. This is Golden State Picker saying, as a coach, you've got to make a change. Someone is to go. Sorensen or special teams, make a change. You just can't keep doing the same thing. Give me this. And give the team this. Because when you're not going to let anyone go? When you're playing Seattle on Thursday. So the team as you're looking at it right now is the team you're going to be looking at on Thursday night. Now, after Thursday, you get your bye week. Oh, no, you don't get a bye week. Then you got the Kansas City Chiefs coming to town. Probably the wrong time to be firing a defensive coordinator or really anybody. So when are you going to do it? I would have done it a week ago. I would have done it a while ago. I would have done it I would have done it in the offseason. I'm not impressed by the special teams. Kyle is solely responsible for 2 losses this year. He gave the Patriots 10 free points last week. Sports Quez reacts. I'm not telling you that Kyle had a good day, but did Kyle fumble for Jordan Mason? Did Kyle miss the tackle as they picked up a 4th and 5 with 2:49 left in the game? Did Kyle have any, could Kyle have prevented Marvin Harrison from coming down with that ball after, Kyler Murray straight up threw up a YOLO ball? I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. Here's the thing. I do know what to tell you. Kyle's not getting fired. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. And I'm not telling you that because I'm kissing his ass or I really love him and insist that there's no one better. They're just not going to do it. The 49ers will not be firing Kyle Shanahan this season. The faster you realize that, I think the healthier life you're going to live. If you do want him fired, maybe it would happen in the offseason, but let me also tell you the truth. It's not going to happen then either. Kyle will be the head coach of the 49ers through 2026. I guarantee it. At the minimum, he's not going anywhere. He has the full confidence of this front office to be the guy who should be the head coach. Whether he's lost your confidence or not is not going to change the way that they feel about him. By the way, let's go through where people are watching, and then we're going to talk about Tom Brady talking about Brock Purdy, which I thought was interesting. And by the way, Brady, who was unimpressive, I think earlier in the year, of course, like everything he's done in his life, he's getting better at it. He's still a little stiff. His information isn't great, but his quarterback observations certainly are. And we'll talk what Brady had to say about Brock Purdy here in just a little bit, because I thought there were some interesting things. But Dan lives in L.A. Valen is in Chandler, Arizona. Speaking of heat, right? Thank you very much to Christopher, who's in Fresno right now. We got Amin Morris, Jersey boy. Thank you very much. We got a man who is right outside of Yosemite, insecure filmer. Get some self-confidence.
Get some self-confidence, filmer in Yosemite. Is Yosemite a smothering town for filmmakers? I don't know. Gilbert, Arizona. BB B2 Niners 1642. Thank you, BB. South Florida. Yokohama, Japan. Rock Eastwood. I didn't know that you were in Yokohama. I thought you were a Bay Area guy through and through. I mean, I'm sure you are originally, but I didn't know you were kicking it in Yokohama. San Francisco. Well, yeah, I would expect everyone in San Francisco, given all the current choices, that you'd be listening to me. So, of course, and thank you. One of my favorite names, Philip Don Michael Johnson Thomas, coming in from Georgia, baby. Georgia. Steve is from a small town in Canada. Is there a place called Smalltown, Canada? Is it bigger or smaller than Moose Jaw, Steve? Thank you for Fresno in the house. Oman, thank you very much. Littleton, Colorado. Seth, Wyoming. I mean, isn't it cool that all these people from all these different places can come in and having just all watch the same thing, kind of hang out and talk? I think it is. Again, I grew up on local radio. As a broadcaster, I did 20 years of local radio around here. We had no one listening from Arizona or Georgia or Florida or, anytime. So it tickles me pink to see it. Well, Yokohama was not in the Tower's power. Sancho Page. This is on the captains. The team has no heart. They're not playing with violence. I don't want to call them a heartless team. Like, at no point in time today did I think the 49ers were going to give up on this game. I don't think Brock Purdy got hit on his side and threw an interception because he wanted to give up and get out of there because it was too hot in Santa Clara. So I don't know if I can say that the team has no heart, Sancho, but I will say this. They don't play with violence quite like they used to. When the 49ers were at their best, they played with violence. When Debo is at his best, he is an incredibly violent player. Debo today did nothing. Absolutely nothing. 1 catch, 11 yards, and every single time he runs with the ball, he ain't fooling nobody. You want to talk about the element of Kyle Shanahan's play calling that I like the least is every single time you see Debo with a ball, that's a play that's probably not going anywhere if he took it as a handoff. Sure enough, today, Debo, 3 carries, 9 yards, a long of 7. Wah, wah. I mean, when you get outrushed by Isaac Guerrero, you had a bad day running with the football. Good to see Guerrero get a little, work in, I guess. I don't know if he's ever going to be much for this team. Debo Samuel right here. 3 targets, 1 catch, 11 yards. That's only 11 more yards than you or me, kids. I know everyone's talking about Brandon Ayuk, 30 million. Brandon Ayuk, 30 million. Debo Samuel, 28 million, right? I mean, come on. He is not a great runner, and he's not a great wide receiver. And that guy might be one of the worst contracts. And having said that, he's one of the heartbeat guys. When Debo is on it and feeling it and swagging it, the Niners are at their best. They really are. And when he is out of the game plan, when he is off, he's pretty invisible at times. He's pretty invisible at times. Oh, what a disappointing day. Hey, next Thursday, we'll have everyone happy as fuck. Relax. Dan, I hope you're right, Dan. I hope you're right, because if they lose on Thursday in Seattle, which is a tough place to play, really is, they lose on Thursday, the panic button that Michelle Haberman found in her bottom dresser drawer today, the people are going to start pushing it for real. You would be, oh and 3 in the division and 0-4 in the conference. I mean, it's pretty much goodbye 1 seed right there, right? We can all agree on that? Yeah, I'm trying to preach a little patience with a very long football season still remaining. I know that if you just circled back to years past, like remember when the 49ers were having a 3-game losing streak right before they came out and they whipped the shit out of the Jaguars and kind of turned their entire season around after a bye week? Remember that last year? And they were 5-3, and everybody was absolutely crapping their pants at 5-3. This is a team that could be 5-3 still, but they got to get on the horse and start winning some games for that to happen. Because right now they're 2-3. You know, a little winning streak right now. Seattle, Kansas City, Dallas. If they do win those next 3 games in a row, you're going to feel great. You're not going to be worried about Arizona. You're not going to be worried about Minnesota, who won again today, by the way. Further you get away from that Minnesota loss, better it looks. There's still an awful lot of football season left here. I have done. I'm sorry. Oh, I just saw this. Damon, you want to go live with Bruce McGowan from the hospital today? Was Bruce McGowan's in the hospital? Was that supposed to be like a joke of a remote that we used to do or something? I've never done a remote with Bruce in a hospital. I don't think KMBR has ever been doing shows from hospitals that I know of. But boy, I hope that Bruce McGowan's okay. Scaring me, man. Good news, Damon. Congrats on IU going 6-0. Indiana bowl eligible, first team in the nation. First team in the nation to bowl eligibility. That's like that's the sports equivalent. It's honestly, that is the sports equivalent of a Prius winning pole position at the Indianapolis 500. I can't believe it. First team in the nation to be bowl eligible. I think we're going to be 18th in the country on Monday. I think we're 18th. Let's talk about us being in the Big Ten title game. It's insane. None of you are here for that, though. None of you. Thank you, Fuji, though. Thank you very much. None of you are here for that. But holy shit. I mean, I really don't know. I don't know what to do with my hands. I have no idea what to do with my hands now that Indiana's got a good football team. Spotted on the sidelines. 49ers kicking a ball off a tee. Rita Thomas, thank you very much. Rita, look, I mean, are you joking or did that really happen? Because sure, like warm them up. We get the kid on game day who hit the $100,000 kick. Get that kid. He kicked like a 35-yarder. Damon, you're worldwide. Well, we're internet wide at the very least. Thank you, Dan. Going through these chats, man. Words of wisdom. Kyle, fire, Kyle, fire, Kyle, fire. Is that supposed to be the opposite of fire, Kyle? I don't look. It's not happening. It's just I don't care how many emojis you use. I don't care how angry you get. Yeah, this is Debo. That boombox entrance is all you got. Yeah, the minute he put the boombox down, Debo's day was pretty much over. That's a good line. I'll probably use that tomorrow. That 2001 season got Debo paid. Let's hope he can return to form. I mean, the guy's in great shape. He's had some good games already this year, but nothing spectacular. I don't know how much spectacular football when look at it this way. The 49ers right now are dead last in the NFL in yak yards, which means things are different. And this different offense is not producing a level of winning that means you should stay completely married to it. So why are things different right now? What is being taken away is at the middle of the field that is making Brock this level of uber aggressive with downfield throws and scrambling himself into, look at it this way, every single time Brock scrambles, let's just take 4 scrambles. 4 scrambles from Brock usually now gives you the following results. 2 of them are going to be really good decisions where he keeps the play alive and something good happens. One of them will be neither a net positive or a net negative. He will run around with the ball for a little bit and then, either get back to the line of scrimmage or just throw it away, live to fight another day. And then the third option, or the fourth thing that is happening a little too frequently, is he is running backwards 15 yards and there is a sack as he tries to come forward, or he's trying to keep plays alive a little too long. And like I said, let's get to what Brock Purdy had said about him today by Tom Brady. One of the greatest to ever do it, if not measurably by championships, statistically, the greatest quarterback of all time, Tom Brady. He said that he's very impressed with Brock's poise and composure. But that's before he started running all around. And he talked about, the arm angle that he had on a screen to Debo that he was impressed with. He said, the best part about being a quarterback is when you actually know it's your team now. And this is Brock's team now. There is no doubt about that. This is Brock's team now. But then he said he's holding on that ball a little too long. I would have gotten rid of it faster. Remember when Brock left 1 second for a field goal? He thought he held on to it a little bit too long, and then Brock got this team in trouble, and he was trying to make a great play more than he was staying in the situation. More than he stayed in this situation that was just simply, hey, don't take a big net yardage here right now. Your kicker's hurt. If you're going to need Mitch Wishnowsky to kick this, you got to be, about as close as you can get. So that didn't happen. Brock took a terrible, scrambled backward sack in the wrong time of the game for something like that to happen. They end up going for it on 4th and 23, which is a tough play to have a call for. They go for it on 4th and 23, and unfortunately, Kittle doesn't even catch the ball to give it like a good punt feeling. Where now, Cardinals, they turned it over on downs, but they're starting inside their own 10-yard line. No, Kittle dropped it, and it was as if they were getting the ball on the 30. And that was a huge momentum swing in this play, in this game. Huge momentum swing. Greg RJZ. Good to have you, Greg. Thank you so much. Kyle's an idiot. Instead of trying that 35-yard field goal with Mitch, even a miss, Cardinals are 30. But Kyle, again, a loser. We win by 3 if Mitch hits it. Yeah, he probably should have tried a longer field goal with Mitch, but instead, it's not that field goal that bothered me. It's the one that he settled for on 2nd and 2, or excuse me, on 4th and goal. 4th and goal from the 2. And he kicks a field goal to go up 3. Run a play, man. Run a play. Special teams screwed up this game a lot. They also provided one of the more electric plays in the game. That was a hell of a scoop by Lenore. That was a great play. I mean, it really was. But one great play and points doesn't make up for the fact that 2 other plays, even though it was a 5-yard running into the kicker, not a roughing that gave the Cardinals a first down, but it's still a special teams mistake by Robert Beal Jr. And then, of course, Jake Moody's ankle folds underneath him because he's a guy asked to make a tackle because kickoff coverage is that bad. Again. But what are you going to do? You're not going to fire anybody between now and the Seattle game. And they're not going to fire anybody after the Seattle game either. This team does not let coordinators go in season. It just doesn't. No more celebrations until we win the Super Bowl. Dan, I know, there's this big ripple of if it's not the Super Bowl, I won't be happy. Dude, you're just stop watching football. If you can't enjoy, if the only down you enjoy is a touchdown and you don't enjoy 1st, 2nd, or 3rd down, you're watching the wrong sport. Like, you have to have incremental moments of happiness and an otherwise, bludgeoning you over your head type of season. I think you're supposed to enjoy the ride a little bit more. I really do. I think maybe that's just, life, maturity, experience. I don't know. I don't know how old you are, Dan, but I'm 49 years old. I've been around the football block a few times. And if all you are is going to be happy when your team, your favorite team that you root for, wins the Super Bowl, well, I grew up a Bears fan. So that means I will have had one happy year of my entire life. 1985 would have gone really, really well for me. 10-year-old Damon was very, very happy. And ever since then, from 10 to 49, nothing. Look, I'm an Indiana football fan. Right up until 6 weeks ago, that was not a life consigned of happiness. Oh, by the way, pickup, I meant that Bruce McGowan is talking our ear off at Kaiser. He's good. My dad's good. They're both on IVs for antibiotic infection. Well, I hope you and your dad and Bruce all get better soon. Sorry to hear that. Give Bruce McGowan my best. I love that guy. He's such a nice guy. But he will absolutely talk your ear off. All old radio guys are built to talk ears off. It's what we do. Dan Serrano, no more boombox. Here's the thing. You can keep the boombox, but just bring the energy that entire game. Again, I don't have a problem with the way the 49ers present. I don't. I think that they are a team that plays with a level of sportsmanship. They're not a bunch of gloaters. They're not a bunch of punks. They absolutely are trying to look good, feel good, play good. And that's a formula that every team should be looking to enact every day. I don't care, man. If your whole thing is we got a boombox, you're 0-15, that boombox should be coming out for week 16 too. Well, maybe not then. But that boombox has not failed the Niners more than it's been on the right side of a season that either ended up in the NFC title game or the Super Bowl. The boombox is not the problem here. Special teams is the problem, not the boombox. Defense is the problem, not the boombox. Tom Brady said, you got a really good young quarterback here who is probably holding on to the grenade a little bit too long before he throws it. And that haunted this team today. Brock Purdy was trying to make big plays more than he was going to pay attention to down distance and situation, which I don't care if it's not something he normally thinks about or not. You had to be thinking about it on a day like today. My kicker is hurt. I cannot be taking an 18-yard loss on second down. Because I'm skidding around so much that I end up running into a sack 10 yards downfield when I was really 18 yards downfield. It looked like I was going to go, and then I got stopped. It's just he fell in love looking for big plays with his legs. I think Kyle fell in love with looking for big plays through Brock's arm. And what they should have done was, instead of running those 8 big shot plays that didn't really hit, was give 8 more carries to Jordan Mason. I would do that. Run the ball. People, again, I don't think you need to worry about Kyle Shanahan. I don't think you really need to worry about Brock Purdy. You do need to worry about special teams. You do need to worry about a better brand of defense starting to define what the 49ers look like. And you do need to worry about fumbles that Kyle had nothing to do with. Jordan Mason fumbling today was devastating. Devastating. Because I think that they had a little momentum going for him. I think they had a little momentum going for him at that time. And it was taken away right there. That's where the game turned. That's where the game turned. Yadam not intercepting a pass that looked to be right in his breadbasket early in the first quarter with the 49ers down 7-3. Little plays like that. You know, I was there, but I didn't quite make the play. Too much reaching, too much arm tackling on this defense. The Bosa interception, like that was great. To have a blocked field goal return for a touchdown and a Nick Bosa interception in a game that you lose at home, that's not good. You know, Brown and Mustafa as strong safeties are good. Talanoa Hufanga is a free safety, can't get right. And he left the game with an injured wrist after he just returned and then had to leave that game with an injured ankle. You know, Talanoa Hufanga has I've been hurt for too long rust on him, and he keeps on getting dinged up in other places, and he can't shake the rust off on him. And that's why today he was, you know, he whiffed at a tackle. Plenty of things to not like. By the way, today's referee, Lane Clark, that guy's been just crushing preacher curls. He's got bicep veins I don't remember him having. Let's test Land Clark. Land. Who names their kid Land? What should we name him? Air? Sea? Nah, let's go with Land. Your official today was Land Clark. He's trying to get swole. You can see it. That was a frustrating loss. A lot of anger, a lot of pissed off people. I get it. I hope you plan on joining me on Monday, 9 a.m. Wake up. Yours truly, Larry Krueger. We're going to be going at it on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We're brought to you by Sam's Chowder House. We love doing the show. The response has been fantastic. So I hope you plan on being there for that. We're going to be going ahead and doing shows all next week. If I get sick again, I'm just going to cut my head off. So we're going to have to go do shows all next week at 11, live at 11, with, of course, a whole bunch of videos dropping. And it's going to be a good time, whether the 49ers are or not. But this week is going to go fast because they're playing again on Thursday. 49ers, Seahawks, Thursday. So we'll be going at it prime time Thursday night. Look for the studio early this week so you can set notification and hopefully be back here at the 2-minute warning. Hopefully. Today at the 2-minute warning, there was an awful lot of panic going on. Awful lot. These have been stressful. This is the stressful start to a year where the only part of the year that didn't look like it was going to come with an awful lot of stress was the start of the year. Words of Wisdom says, let's do a talk show, a call-in show. You know, maybe this week, maybe on Tuesday, we'll have a Talkie Talk Tuesday at 11 a.m. here on Damon Bruce Plus, and we'll take calls. We won't save it for a Sports Phone Friday. Well, Sports Phone Friday might be necessary with a Thursday night. Sports Phone Friday. There's going to be a Thursday night game. Sports Phone Friday. Oh, no, wait. I can't on Friday. So we'll do it on Tuesday. So there'll be a wake up on Friday after the 49er game. And then I am going to volunteer as a chaperone for my son in his kindergarten class. Because, you know, I'm a dad of an adorable kid in a kindergarten class. And I said I would chaperone. They're going to a fire station on Ocean Avenue. We live close enough I can walk there. I got to go be with my kid on Friday. And I'm certainly not going to cancel something with my kid if they lose that game too, for Christ's sakes. I'm not canceling kindergarten field trips to go do angry call-in shows day after for a 2-4 team. But there will be a tongue lashing if there are 2-4. 2-4 is unacceptable. Didn't take long to get to a must win. It felt like the 49ers had a must win at 1-3. It's going to feel like the 49ers got a must win at 2-3. Let me leave you with this. We don't know who Ricky Pearsall is, but he's coming. We don't know really what the Achilles situation is with Christian McCaffrey. Doesn't sound good, but the Niners continue to insist at some point he's coming. Dre Greenlaw, at some point, maybe he's coming. And I think that a possible trade is something that this team needs to consider. Truthfully consider to shore up a defensive line that just is no longer getting the job done. Sky, how many more years until they address special teams in the offensive line? This is ridiculous. I don't think the offensive line was bad today. Special teams was. Special teams was. Dominic Pooney's a player. There's no problems coming through him. God, it's freaking hot in San Francisco. It is hot. This game was hot. The results, they were not. That was bad. I don't know about you. Whenever I'm feeling really bad, a sandwich always makes me feel better. I always feel better when I got a good sandwich in my hand or in my belly. And right now, I got the best sandwich in the world to offer you. Over 100 locations and growing. My man Ike's has a brand new rewards program. You sign up for that Ike's Love Rewards program. You get a free sandwich when you do that, and you can enter yourself into a contest to win tickets to a really big football game in New Orleans in February. Some would even say it's super. So, what I want you to do is sign up for that Ike's Reward program. You download that Ike's Rewards app, and that is a great way to do it. You'll be very happy. The sandwiches are awesome at Ike's. Hopefully, there is one around you, and if there's not, call your congressman. This is the Dubliner and West Portal. I absolutely love the guys and gals at the Dubliner and West Portal, and you will too. We will be doing our next Plus Mania during the bye week at the Dubliner and West Portal. And maybe you think about coming into town if you don't live in San Francisco. And if you do live here in the Bay Area, you will be at our next Plus Mania. Whenever we get together with people whose names you saw and talked to today in the chat. These are some of the best people you will meet in person. I promise you that. And what I also want you to do is, if you bet on the Niners and you lost your shirt today and you need a little something to happen either on Monday Night Football. I'm guessing Sunday Night Football is underway already. But maybe on Monday Night Football, you go ahead and you start that winning streak that you need, and you do it on BetUS, an 150% bonus match up to $2,000 on your first deposit, with 125% up to $2,000 on your next two deposits. If you use promo code YouTube150, check out our great friends and start playing today over on BetUS. Thanks to all of you for joining. Thanks to all of you for watching. If you hadn't been motivated to hit a like during any point in time during this live stream, maybe you'll consider it now because you like that it's over. So drop a like on your way out. Drop maybe the cost of money it takes to get a cup of coffee, and think about becoming a member of the initiated, because Sports Bane will be making an appearance this week, and he is for members only, and he is going to be pissed off. Thank you very much for watching. Support me by supporting my sponsors. Support your football fans today around you, especially if they're a Niner fan who went to Cal, because they did nothing but get kicked in the dick this weekend, or in my wife's case, just kicked in the face. She is pissed off between Cal spitting the bit and the 49ers. It's going to be a quiet dinner, I have a feeling, tonight. If we can get the water guns away from the boys, it'll be a quiet dinner in the Bruce household tonight. No one's going to be very happy except me, because my Hoosiers, baby, 6-0, bowl eligible. I'd say bring on Alabama, but they lost to Vanderbilt, so we ain't even scared of them. We're the 18th ranked team in the country. I don't know what to do with my hands. The 18th ranked team in the country. Never daunted. Go Hoosiers. Hey, look, and if the bottom really falls out, it'll be Warrior season before you know it. Thanks so much for watching, and please do remember that sports don't build character. They reveal it.